You didn't stumble onto this. That's the first thing I want you to understand before we go anywhere else together tonight. The idea that you randomly clicked on something, that an algorithm served you a video and you happened to watch it, that's the surface story. And the surface story is almost never the real one. What actually happened is that your energy field, the measurable electromagnetic broadcast that radiates from your body in every direction at every moment, shifted. It shifted before you found this. It shifted in a way that made you findable by exactly this kind of information. And the shift happened because something in you already knew that tonight was different. I'm going to spend the next hour showing you the mechanics of that, not as a metaphor, not as a comfort, as a precise, specific, scientifically grounded explanation of what your personal energy field does in the moments before a major life transition, what it broadcasts, what it draws toward itself, and why the experience of finding something at exactly the right moment is not coincidence, but coherence. Your field coherence. The kind your heart generates naturally when you are on the edge of something real. But I want to start somewhere unexpected. I want to start with what your aura was doing 3 days ago. 3 days ago, or maybe it was a week, or maybe it was this morning, something in you got quiet, not peaceful quiet. The other kind, the kind where you stop performing your normal life for a moment and you feel underneath all of it that something is ending, or something is beginning, or both at once, because those two things are always the same event. You felt it in your chest, or behind your sternum, or in the place where your throat meets your collarbones. A kind of pressure that wasn't pain, but wasn't comfortable either. A readiness that had nowhere to go yet. That sensation you felt? That was your energy field reorganizing. And I mean that in the most literal, measurable sense possible. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field. This is not a spiritual claim. It is a documented, peer-reviewed, measurable physical fact. The HeartMath Institute, which has been studying cardiac electromagnetic fields since the early 1990s, has measured the human heart's field extending up to 8 to 10 feet beyond the surface of the body in every direction. This field is not static. It pulses, it shifts, it carries information encoded in its waveform. Information about your emotional state, your nervous system, coherence, your dominant frequency in any given moment. And when something major is about to change in your life, when you are standing at the threshold of a new timeline. Whether you have named it that yet or not, this field does something specific. It goes through a period of what researchers call low coherence before it reorganizes into a higher coherence pattern. Low coherence feels like that quiet, that unsettled stillness, that pressure behind the sternum that you don't quite have words for. And high coherence, the reorganized field, the new broadcast, that's what you're entering right now. So when you felt that thing, you felt. And when you found this, those two events are not separate. You were broadcasting the frequency of someone on the edge of a genuine shift, and the quantum field, which responds to electromagnetic signals the way a tuning fork responds to its matching pitch, assembled this moment around that broadcast. You didn't find this. Your field drew it. Now let me show you what that actually means for your life starting tonight. If this is landing for you at the level of your own field, there's something I want to offer before we go further. Have you spent years trying to feel lit up again? Visualizations, affirmations, vibration work, and the light still won't hold? Every one of those methods is telling you to push harder, do more, add another technique. It's not working because the issue isn't that you don't have enough light. 6 specific patterns are sitting on top of it. They're called the frequencies of forgetting. The remembering field, a quantum guide to returning to the light. You forgot you were carrying walks through all 5 parts of getting those patterns off you. Every tool you used tried to add more light. This one lifts what's been sitting on the light you already carry. The longer you wait, the harder they get to clear. So go open it tonight. The link is in the pinned comment below. Now, back to the thread we were following. There is a concept in quantum physics called superposition. You've probably heard the word. An electron, or any quantum particle, exists in multiple possible states simultaneously until the moment of observation. The moment something interacts with it and forces it to resolve into one specific state. Before observation, all possibilities are present at once. After observation, one reality crystallizes out of the field of potential. Most people learn this concept and think it's interesting, but abstract. Something that happens at the subatomic level, too small to matter at the scale of human life. But here's what those people are missing. Your body is made of quantum particles. Every atom in your nervous system, every electron in the electromagnetic field your heart generates, every photon emitted by your cells. And yes, your cells do emit light. Biophotons, measurable coherent light, exists within this quantum framework. You are not separate from quantum mechanics. You are a quantum system. a large, warm, conscious, breathing quantum system, but a quantum system nonetheless. And this means something extraordinary about the moment you're in right now. Right now, your life is in superposition. Multiple timelines, multiple versions of what comes next exist simultaneously in the quantum field of possibility. The version where tonight is just another night. The version where something genuinely shifts. The version where you look back on this moment in 2 years and say, that was when everything changed. All of those are real. All of them are present. And the one that crystallizes, the one that collapses out of superposition into your actual lived experience, is determined by your electromagnetic broadcast. By the frequency your heart field is radiating right now. By the coherence of your personal aura in this specific moment. This is why I said you didn't stumble onto this, because you wouldn't be here in this specific moment, feeling what you're feeling, unless your field had already begun to shift toward the timeline where something real happens tonight. You are already in the collapse. The observation has already begun, and the frequency you bring to the next 60 minutes is going to participate in determining which version of your life crystallizes out of this moment. So let's make it conscious. Let's make your broadcast deliberate. Because a conscious broadcast is not slightly more powerful than an unconscious one. It is categorically different. It is the difference between a candle and a laser. Same light, completely different coherence, completely different reach. If this transmission is landing for you, if you feel your field responding to what we're exploring together, take a moment to like this video and subscribe so we can keep going deeper together. Now let's keep going. Let me tell you about Mara. Mara was the kind of person who had spent her entire adult life waiting for the right moment. Not in a passive way. She worked hard. She showed up. She did everything she was supposed to do. But there was a quality to her doing that she couldn't quite name. A kind of held breath. A sense that she was preparing for a life that kept not quite arriving. She had a good job that didn't fit her. She had relationships that were fine but not luminous. She had a body of work she'd never shared with anyone because she was waiting until it was ready. Until she was ready. Until the moment was right. And every morning she woke up and the moment was not yet right. What Mara didn't understand, what nobody had ever shown her, was that the waiting itself was a broadcast, that the held breath was a signal, that the energy field she generated every day, shaped by decades of preparation without a rival, was radiating a very specific frequency to the quantum field. Not yet. And the quantum field, which does not evaluate or judge, but simply responds to what it receives, was assembling reality around that signal. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. The day everything changed for Mara, she didn't do anything dramatic. She didn't quit her job, or move cities, or make a grand declaration. She was sitting in her car in a parking lot, late afternoon, and she had one of those moments of sudden, absolute clarity that arrive without warning and change everything. She realized that she had been treating her life like a rehearsal, that she had been radiating rehearsal energy, and she understood in her body, not just in her mind, that there was no performance coming after the rehearsal. This was the performance. This had always been the performance, and something in her chest released. She described it later as feeling like a knot she hadn't known was there coming undone, like a frequency she'd been holding, a tight, compressed, not yet frequency, suddenly expanding. She sat in that parking lot and she breathed, and with each breath, she felt her energy field, though she wouldn't have called it that at the time, doing something different, expanding, warming, broadcasting something new. She drove home and sent the first chapter of her book to 3 people she trusted. That was 6 years ago. You can find her work now. It reaches people. It matters. Not because she became a different person in that parking lot, but because she stopped dimming the person she already was. The timeline shift didn't happen when she sent the email. It happened in the parking lot, in the moment of coherence, in the moment her field reorganized. The email was just the first event that the new broadcast drew to her. Your moment is happening right now, and I want to show you the exact mechanics of what's occurring in your energy field as we move through this together. Because understanding the mechanics is part of what makes the shift conscious rather than accidental. Accidental shifts happen. People stumble into new timelines all the time. But a conscious shift, a shift you understand and participate in deliberately, that's a different order of magnitude. That's not a candle flickering in a new direction. That's a laser finding its target. Here is what your aura is specifically doing when you are on the threshold of a timeline change. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart is in constant communication with your nervous system. This is not metaphor. The heart sends more neural signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. The heart has its own nervous system, approximately 40,000 neurons, which researchers sometimes call the heart brain. And this system processes information, makes decisions, and broadcasts its state to the rest of your body and beyond. When your heart field is in a state called coherence, when its electromagnetic waveform is smooth, rhythmic, and ordered, your brain enters a synchronized state. Your immune system functions optimally. Your perception expands, and your electromagnetic broadcast becomes what I can only describe as legible. The quantum field can read a coherent signal. It can respond to it. It can assemble matching frequencies around it. When your heart field is in a state of incoherence, when its waveform is chaotic, fragmented, and disordered, the broadcast is still happening. But it's like trying to tune into a radio station that's broadcasting on 17 frequencies simultaneously. The signal is there, but nothing can lock onto it. Nothing can respond to it clearly. And so, reality, which assembles around your signal, assembles something chaotic and fragmented in return. Most people spend most of their lives broadcasting from a state of partial incoherence, not because they're broken, because they're unconscious, because nobody ever showed them that their heart field was a broadcast instrument, let alone how to tune it. The moment you become conscious of your broadcast, you change it. Not by trying to feel different, not by forcing positive thoughts, by the simple, radical act of directing your attention to your own field and choosing deliberately what frequency to generate. And here is the specific thing that happens at the quantum level when you do this. Quantum entanglement is the phenomenon where two particles, once they have interacted, remain connected regardless of the distance between them. What happens to one instantaneously affects the other, even if they are on opposite sides of the universe. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, and he didn't like it. But it's real. It's been measured. It's been demonstrated in laboratories with increasing precision for decades. And here's the part that matters for your life tonight. You have been interacting with people, places, possibilities, and timelines your entire life. Every interaction has created entanglement. Your field is already connected to an enormous network of quantum relationships, most of which you've never consciously mapped. When your field coherence shifts, those entangled relationships feel it. Not metaphorically, electromagnetically. The shift in your broadcast propagates through your entanglement network and begins to draw responses from it. People you haven't spoken to in years suddenly think of you. Opportunities that were dormant suddenly activate. Doors that seemed closed begin to loosen. This is not magic. This is quantum resonance. This is your field, newly coherent, newly broadcasting a clear signal, drawing responses from everything it's already entangled with. This is why timeline shifts can feel sudden. Why people say everything changed at once. It's not that everything changed simultaneously. It's that one coherence shift propagated through an entire entanglement network, and the responses began arriving from every direction at the same time. Your network is enormous. Your field has been interacting with the quantum field your entire life. The moment your broadcast becomes coherent, the response is not small. It is proportional to the full scope of your entanglement history. Let that land. Right now, I want to do something with you, not at you. With you. This is a practice, and it's specific to this moment, to this threshold, to the exact kind of shift you are in the middle of right now. It is not a generic meditation. It is a precise coherence activation designed for the specific electromagnetic state of someone who is on the edge of a timeline change and ready to make that change conscious. Find a position where your spine can be reasonably upright, not rigid, just awake. If you're lying down, that's fine, but bring a little more alertness to your body, a little more presence. Feel the weight of yourself, the actual physical mass of you, your bones, your muscles, the density of your body in space. This matters because your electromagnetic field is generated by and through your physical body. Grounding in your physical form is not separate from aura work. It is aura work. Now bring your attention to your heart center. Not the organ specifically, though the organ is there and it's doing extraordinary things right now. The center of your chest, the space behind your sternum. And as you bring your attention there, I want you to notice something. Not create something. Notice. There is already a warmth there. It may be subtle. It may be a faint heat, or a slight pressure, or a quality of aliveness that's different from the rest of your body. That warmth is not imagination. That warmth is the electromagnetic activity of your heart field. You are feeling your own aura from the inside. Now breathe into that warmth. Slow, full, deliberate breath in through the nose, filling your lungs from the bottom up, feeling your chest expand. And as you breathe in, imagine or feel or simply intend that the warmth in your chest is expanding, not because you're forcing it, because you're giving it permission, because you're paying attention to it. And attention is energy. And energy fed by attention grows. Hold the breath for just a moment at the top, not straining, just pausing. And in that pause, I want you to bring into your awareness the sense that you are on the edge of something. Not a specific thing you're trying to manifest, not an outcome you're attached to. Just the felt sense of threshold, the sense that the timeline you've been living and the timeline that's available to you are right now, in this breath, in the same space, both present, both real. Now exhale slowly. Let the breath go completely. And as you exhale, feel the warmth in your chest radiate outward, not just into your body, beyond your body, into the space around you. That radiation is real. Your heart field is genuinely extending beyond your skin right now. You are not visualizing a metaphor. You are directing an actual electromagnetic broadcast. Do this twice more on your own. Breathe in. Expand the warmth. Feel the threshold. Exhale. Radiate. When you've done those 2 breaths, let your breathing return to normal and stay with the warmth for a moment. Notice if the quality of the space around you feels different. Notice if your chest feels more open. Notice if there's a quality of readiness that's different from the held breath readiness of waiting. This is coherence. This is your field organized and broadcasting clearly. This is what you feel like when you are genuinely on the edge of a new timeline and your broadcast matches the frequency of that new territory. This is your natural state, not a special state you have to work to achieve. Your natural state when the dimming stops. And I want to pause here and ask you something, because this community is part of the field too. Have you ever felt your aura shift in a room? A moment when people responded to your energy differently, when you walked in and something changed, when your own light seemed to activate and you could feel it. Drop it in the comments. I read them. And your story might be exactly what someone else needs to recognize their own field. Now I want to talk about the dimming, because you can't understand the full magnitude of what's available to you tonight, without understanding what has been compressing your field and why the compression is ending. There is a specific pattern that develops in the electromagnetic field of a person who has been living below their actual frequency for an extended period. Researchers studying heart rate variability, which is one of the primary measurable indicators of heart field coherence, have documented what happens to the heart's electromagnetic waveform under chronic stress, chronic self-suppression, and chronic disconnection from one's own sense of purpose. The waveform doesn't collapse. It doesn't disappear, but it compresses. It becomes smaller in amplitude, more erratic in rhythm, less coherent in its pattern, and a compressed, erratic waveform broadcasts a compressed, erratic signal. Here's what that compressed signal attracts: more compression, more circumstances that confirm the frequency of smallness, more evidence that the world is not particularly responsive to you, more experiences of almost but not quite, of close but not enough, of reaching and not quite connecting. Not because you deserve that, not because the universe is punishing you, because your field is broadcasting a frequency and reality is assembling around it faithfully, the way it always does, without judgment, without preference, without any agenda except resonance. The person with a compressed field is not a person with a small life. They are a person with a temporarily compressed broadcast. And the difference between those two things is everything. What compresses a field? Let me be specific, because this matters. Chronic self-monitoring compresses a field. The habit of constantly watching yourself through the imagined eyes of others, asking, am I too much? Am I enough? Am I coming across right? Is a habit that redirects enormous amounts of electromagnetic energy from outward broadcast to internal surveillance. A person in chronic self-monitoring is essentially running their field in a loop. The energy that should be radiating outward is cycling back through the self-monitoring system, and the net broadcast is a fraction of what it could be. Unprocessed grief compresses a field. Not because grief is wrong or should be hurried, but because grief that has never been witnessed, never been allowed to move through the body, never been given the space it needs to complete its cycle, becomes a standing wave in the electromagnetic field, a frequency that got stuck. And a stuck frequency is a compressed one. Long-term inauthenticity compresses a field, living a life that doesn't match your actual frequency, playing a role that isn't yours, performing a version of yourself that you don't recognize in private. This creates what I can only describe as electromagnetic dissonance. Your field is trying to broadcast your actual frequency, while your behavior is broadcasting a different one. And the interference between those two signals compresses both of them. And perhaps most commonly, most quietly, most invisibly, the accumulated weight of 1,000 small moments of self-dimming compresses a field. Every time you made yourself smaller to make someone else comfortable. Every time you swallowed a truth because the room wasn't ready for it. Every time you delayed your own becoming because you were waiting for permission that was never going to come from outside you. Each of those moments was a small compression, and 1,000 small compressions become a field that's broadcasting at a fraction of its natural amplitude. I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad about the past. I'm telling you this because you need to understand what's actually releasing right now, what you're feeling tonight. That pressure, that readiness, that sense of something shifting. That's not just emotional. That's your field decompressing. That's the standing waves beginning to move again. That's the electromagnetic amplitude beginning to return to its natural level. And when a compressed field decompresses, the change in broadcast is not proportional. It's not like going from a quiet voice to a slightly louder voice. It's like going from a whisper to a signal that reaches across the room. The quantum field notices. The entanglement network responds. The timeline that matches your natural frequency, not your compressed frequency, begins to become accessible. This is why people describe genuine life changes as feeling like they've entered a different world. They haven't gone anywhere, but their field has changed so significantly that the reality assembling around it is genuinely different. Same person, same body, same history, completely different broadcast, completely different response from the quantum field. You are in that decompression right now. Let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel had spent 11 years in a career that he was genuinely good at and genuinely wrong for. He had the skills. He had the track record. He had the title and the salary and the respect of people whose respect he'd worked hard to earn. And every Sunday evening, without fail, he felt a heaviness settle into his chest that he'd learned to call tiredness. But that wasn't tiredness. It was the weight of a life lived at the wrong frequency. He wasn't unhappy in any dramatic way. That was the thing that made it hard to change. If he'd been miserable, the decision would have been clear. But he was fine. he was managing. He was doing okay. And okay, he had learned, was the most dangerous frequency of all. Because okay doesn't hurt enough to push you out of it. But it's not alive enough to actually be living. Daniel's field, in those 11 years, had organized itself around the frequency of fine, of managing, of okay. And reality, faithfully, had assembled around that signal. More fine, more managing, more okay. The shift for Daniel didn't come from a dramatic external event. It came from a conversation with someone he'd just met at an event he'd almost not attended, who asked him a question that nobody had ever asked him before. Not a complicated question, a simple one. What would you be doing with your life if you weren't afraid of being wrong about yourself? Daniel said later that he felt the question land in his chest like a stone dropping into still water. And the ripples, the electromagnetic ripples, were immediate and physical. His heart rate changed. His breathing changed. Something in the quality of the air around him changed. He didn't have an answer to the question, not in that moment. But the question had done something to his field that no amount of self-improvement effort had managed to do. It had shown him the shape of his own compression. He saw it clearly. In one moment, the 11 years of okay, the Sunday evening heaviness, the skills deployed in the wrong direction, the talent pointed at a target that was never his target. And seeing it was the decompression, not the decision that followed, not the changes he made over the next year. The seeing, the moment his field became coherent around the truth of what he actually was, rather than incoherent around the performance of what he'd decided to be. Daniel's story matters for tonight because of what happened after that conversation. Within 2 weeks, 3 things arrived in his life that had not been present before. A connection that led to a completely different kind of work. A creative project that had been dormant for years suddenly reactivated, and a relationship that had been stuck in the same conversation for months suddenly moved. He didn't do anything dramatically different in those 2 weeks. His field did. His field decompressed, reorganized, and began broadcasting at a frequency that drew responses from his entanglement network that the compressed field had never been able to attract. The timeline shifted, not because of what he did, because of what he broadcast. What about you? Has there been a moment, maybe recent maybe years ago, when you felt your own field suddenly warm and expand, when something in your chest opened and the people around you seemed to feel it too. Tell me about it in the comments. Those moments of recognized radiance are not flukes. They are your field showing you its natural frequency, and sharing them here adds to the coherence of this entire field we're building together. Now let me go deeper into the mechanics of what's available to you tonight, because I want you to understand something about timeline shifts that most people don't know, and that understanding it will change how you move through the next 24 hours. There is a concept in quantum field theory called the zero-point field. It is the underlying energetic substrate of the universe, the field that exists even in the complete absence of matter, the field that permeates all of space, and from which all particles and all energy emerge. It is not empty space. It is full space. It is the most information-dense medium in the known universe, containing, according to some theoretical calculations, more energy per cubic centimeter than the observable universe contains in its entirety. It is the field from which reality is continuously emerging. Your electromagnetic field is in constant interaction with the zero-point field. Not occasionally, not when you meditate, continuously. Every heartbeat sends a pulse of electromagnetic energy into the zero-point field. Every pulse carries information about your current frequency. And the zero-point field, which is the substrate from which quantum possibilities collapse into physical reality, responds to that information. This is the mechanism behind what people experience as synchronicity, as right place, right time, as things falling into place. When your field is coherent, when your heart is broadcasting a clear, organized, high-amplitude signal into the zero-point field, the probability distribution of quantum events in your immediate environment shifts. Not in a way that violates physics, in a way that is physics. The coherent field creates a local organizing influence on the probability distributions of quantum events. Events that match your frequency become more probable. Events that don't match become less probable. Reality at the quantum level begins to preferentially assemble in the direction of your broadcast. This is not mysticism. This is what quantum field theory actually describes. The mathematics of quantum mechanics includes probability distributions, wave functions that describe the likelihood of different outcomes. Those probability distributions are not fixed. They are influenced by the electromagnetic environment in which they exist. Your heart field is part of that electromagnetic environment. A coherent heart field influences probability distributions in ways that increase the likelihood of coherence matching events. What that means in plain language: when your field is coherent, you are literally, mathematically, physically more likely to be in the right place at the right time, more likely to encounter the person who changes things, more likely to receive the information that unlocks the next door, more likely to find what you need when you need it. And when your field is incoherent, fragmented, compressed, you are literally, mathematically, physically less likely to encounter those things. Not because the universe is withholding them, because your broadcast isn't creating the electromagnetic conditions that make them probable. This is the real mechanics of timeline change, not a mystical leap from one predetermined path to another. A shift in your electromagnetic broadcast that changes the probability distribution of quantum events in your environment, which changes what reality assembles around you, which changes what you experience as your life. You are not a passive observer of your timeline. You are its primary electromagnetic architect. And tonight, your field is reorganizing toward coherence. The shift is already in motion. What we're doing right now, this conversation, this transmission, this hour of directed attention on your own energy field, is participating in and accelerating a process that has already begun. I want to do something specific with you now. Something that goes beyond the first practice we did together. This is a deeper engagement with your field, and it's designed for the specific moment you're in. The moment of decompression and reorganization. The moment when the old broadcast is releasing and the new one is forming. This practice has 3 parts. Move through them at whatever pace feels right. There's no rush. The field doesn't respond to hurry. It responds to presence. The first part is called the release of the held frequency. Bring your attention back to your heart center. And this time, instead of expanding the warmth, I want you to look for what's underneath it. Not with effort or excavation, just with gentle curiosity. There is, in most people's heart field right now, a frequency that has been held for a long time. A note that's been sustained past its natural duration. It might feel like a tightness, a guardedness, a quality of not quite open that you've become so accustomed to that you stopped noticing it. Find that. Don't analyze it. Don't try to identify where it came from or what it means. Just find the sensation of it. Now breathe into it, not to fix it, to acknowledge it, to say, with your breath, I see you. I know you've been here. I know you've been working hard to protect me, and I'm ready now. I'm ready to let you move. On your next exhale, imagine that held frequency, that compressed note, beginning to release. Not exploding, not collapsing. Releasing the way a hand that's been clenched slowly opens. The way a breath that's been held finally completes. Let it move. Let it expand. Let it become something larger than the tight, compressed form it's been holding. You don't need to know what you're releasing. Your field knows. Trust the process. The second part is called the recognition of your natural frequency. Once you've spent a moment with that release, once you've given the held note permission to move, I want you to feel what's underneath it. Because underneath every compression, underneath every held frequency, underneath every pattern of self-dimming, there is a natural frequency. The frequency you were before you learned to make yourself smaller. The frequency you are when nobody's watching and you're doing the thing you love and time disappears. The frequency of your actual self. You know this frequency. You've felt it. Maybe rarely. Maybe in flashes. Maybe in moments so brief you dismissed them as flukes. But you know it. It has a quality that's unmistakable. A quality of rightness, of aliveness, of this is what I actually am. Feel for that now. Don't try to sustain it, or hold it, or make it permanent. Just notice it. Just let yourself recognize it. That is your natural broadcast. That is the frequency your field generates when it's uncompressed, unguarded, fully itself. That frequency is not something you have to build. It's something you have to stop covering. The third part is called the conscious transmission. From that place of recognized natural frequency, I want you to make a deliberate broadcast, not with words, though you can use words if they help, with the felt sense of your field radiating from your heart center outward. Feel the warmth in your chest. Feel it expanding. Feel it moving beyond the boundary of your skin, into the space around you, into the room, into the electromagnetic environment you inhabit right now. And as your field radiates, hold in your awareness the sense of the timeline that matches your natural frequency, not a specific vision of what you want, the frequency of it, the felt sense of a life that fits, of a reality assembled around your actual broadcast rather than your compressed one, of waking up in the morning and recognizing yourself in the life around you. Radiate that, not as a wish, as a broadcast, as an electromagnetic fact. Because in this moment, with your field in the state it's in, it is a fact. It is a real signal going into the 0-point field right now. It is influencing probability distributions in your electromagnetic environment right now. It is beginning to draw the responses of your entanglement network right now. This is not hoping. This is physics. Stay with that for as long as feels right. Then, when you're ready, let your breathing return to normal and bring your awareness back to the room around you. But notice, the room may feel slightly different. The quality of the space may have changed. That's not imagination. That's your field broadcasting at a different amplitude, and the electromagnetic environment responding. Welcome back, and welcome forward. Now I want to talk about what happens in the 24 hours after a coherence shift, because this is the part that most people misunderstand, and the misunderstanding can cause them to accidentally recompress their field right when it's most open. When your heart field reorganizes into a higher coherence state, there is a period. It can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days, during which your field is extraordinarily sensitive. This is not a weakness. It's actually a sign of high coherence. A highly coherent electromagnetic field is more sensitive to incoming signals, the same way a precisely tuned radio receiver picks up frequencies that a poorly tuned one misses entirely. But this sensitivity means that in the 24 hours after a coherence shift, your field is more responsive to everything, including things that can recompress it. The most common recompression trigger in the 24 hours after a shift is the reaction of people in your immediate environment to the change in your broadcast. And I want to be very specific about this because it's important. When your field shifts, the people around you feel it. Not always consciously, but their nervous systems register the change in your electromagnetic broadcast. And for people whose own fields are organized around a particular version of you, the compressed version, the version that was broadcasting at a frequency that felt familiar and predictable, your new broadcast can feel disorienting, even threatening. Not because they want to harm you, but because coherence is contagious. And sometimes People who are not ready to shift will resist the coherence they feel in someone else's field. This resistance can take many forms. Subtle skepticism about whatever you seem to be excited about. Jokes that deflate. Questions that seem reasonable but carry the subtext of who do you think you are? A sudden increase in demands on your time and attention. A pulling toward the old dynamics, the old conversations, the old version of you that fit the old frequency. None of this is malicious. All of it is electromagnetic. It is the response of fields that are organized around your old frequency to the disruption of your new one. Here is what you need to know. You do not have to defend your shift. You do not have to explain it, justify it, or convince anyone of it. You just have to maintain your coherence, because a maintained coherent field is more powerful than a disrupting incoherent one. Not more forceful, more coherent. And coherence, over time, is what wins, not by overpowering, by persisting. The HeartMath research on field entrainment, which is the process by which one electromagnetic field influences the rhythm of another, shows that the higher coherence field tends to enstrain the lower coherence one, not the reverse. A person broadcasting from a state of high heart coherence tends to elevate the coherence of the people that pass around them, not be dragged down to their level. But this only works if the coherent field maintains its state. The moment you recompress in response to the resistance, the entrainment reverses. So, in the 24 hours after tonight, when you feel the pull toward the old frequency, when someone or something seems to be inviting you back into the compressed state, the practice is not to fight it. The practice is to return to your heart center. Find the warmth. Breathe into it. And let your field do what it does naturally when you stop interfering with it. Radiate. You don't have to become a different person to maintain this shift. You just have to keep choosing your own coherence over the comfort of the familiar compression. There is something I want to name directly because I think it's something you've been carrying, and I think tonight is the right time to put it down. You have had moments before when you felt something shift, moments when the clarity arrived and the field opened and the sense of new possibility was real and present and unmistakable. And then, for reasons you may or may not have been able to identify, the shift didn't hold. The clarity faded. The field recompressed. The new timeline that had seemed so close receded back into the distance, and you were left with the memory of the shift and the experience of being back where you started, which is often harder than never having shifted at all, because now you know what's possible and you're not living it. If that's happened to you, I want to say something clearly. That was not failure. That was not evidence that you can't sustain a shift. That was evidence that you shifted without the understanding to maintain it. You changed your frequency without knowing what had changed it or how to keep it changed. You had the experience without the mechanics. And when the mechanics weren't there to support the new state, the old patterns, which are deeply grooved in both your nervous system and your electromagnetic field, reasserted themselves. Tonight is different because you're getting the mechanics. You're understanding what your field is doing and why. You're not just having an experience. You're learning the physics of your own broadcast. And that understanding is what makes the difference between a shift that holds and a shift that fades. The Heart Math Institute's research on heart coherence training shows that when people learn the mechanics of coherence, when they understand what's happening in their field and how to return to coherence, when they lose it, their ability to maintain high coherence states increases dramatically over time. Not because they're forcing themselves to feel good, because they have a map. They know what coherence feels like. They know what disrupts it, and they know how to return to it. The map is the difference. You now have a map, and the map is not a guarantee that you'll never recompress. The map is a guarantee that when you do, you'll know what happened, and you'll know how to find your way back. This is what makes tonight different from every other moment of clarity you've had. Not the feeling, the understanding behind the feeling. Let me go deeper into one more layer of the mechanics, because there's something about timeline shifts that I haven't addressed yet, and that I think is the most important thing I can leave you with tonight. Most people, when they think about changing their timeline, think about it as a forward movement, going from where they are to somewhere better, leaving the current state and arriving at a new one. The metaphor is horizontal, linear, a journey from here to there. But that's not actually how quantum timeline shifts work, and understanding the real geometry of it changes everything. In quantum mechanics, all possible states exist simultaneously. The timeline you want to shift into is not somewhere ahead of you in time. It is not a future you have to travel to. It is a present that exists right now in superposition with the present you're currently experiencing. The shift is not forward. The shift is perpendicular. It is a movement not along the timeline you're on, but across the quantum field to into a different probability distribution that is already fully real, already fully present, already waiting for the electromagnetic signal that matches its frequency. This means that the timeline where your life has changed is not something you are moving toward. It is something you are moving into right now by changing your broadcast, by shifting your electromagnetic signal from the frequency that matches the current probability distribution to the frequency that matches the one you want to inhabit. The distance between your current timeline and the timeline you're shifting into is not measured in time or effort. It is measured in electromagnetic frequency, in the difference between your current broadcast and the broadcast that matches the new state. And that distance can be crossed not gradually, but instantaneously, because frequency shifts are not gradual. A tuning fork either resonates with a frequency or it doesn't. The moment it does, it's there. Not almost there. There. This is why genuine life changes can feel sudden. Why people describe waking up one day and everything being different. It's not that everything changed overnight. It's that their field crossed the frequency threshold that collapsed them into a different probability distribution. And once you've collapsed into a new state, the new state is your reality. Not a goal, not a possibility, your actual, present, lived reality. You are crossing that threshold right now. Not metaphorically, not aspirationally. Right now, in this moment, your field is broadcasting at a frequency that is closer to the threshold of the new timeline than it was when you started listening to this. The practices you've done, the coherence you've generated, the compression you've released, these have moved your electromagnetic signal toward the frequency of the state you're shifting into. The threshold is closer than it was an hour ago. And here's what I want you to understand about that. You don't have to know exactly when you cross it. You don't have to feel a dramatic moment of arrival. Timeline shifts don't always announce themselves. Sometimes you look back 3 months from now and you realize that something shifted that night. And the evidence has been accumulating ever since. The conversation that came out of nowhere. The opportunity that arrived without explanation. The relationship that suddenly moved. The creative work that suddenly flowed. The sense of rightness that became your baseline instead of your exception. The shift may be quiet, but it is real, and it is happening. I want to speak now to the part of you that's listening to all of this and feeling something, genuinely feeling something, and also wondering if it's real, the part that has been here before, in this quality of opening, in this sense of something about to change, and that has learned through experience to be careful with hope, the part that knows how to protect itself from the pain of a shift that doesn't hold by not quite believing in the shift in the first place. I see that part. I'm not asking it to stop doing its job. Protection has its place, but I want to offer it something. Not a reason to stop protecting. A different framework for what protection means. The protective strategy of not quite believing works by keeping your field partially compressed, by maintaining a hedge, by broadcasting a signal that says, I'm open, but not fully. I'm hoping, but not completely. I'm here, but I'm keeping one foot back. And that strategy does protect you from the pain of a fully committed shift that doesn't hold. But it also ensures the shift won't hold, because a partially compressed field cannot cross the coherence threshold that collapses a new timeline into reality. The hedge is the thing that makes the fear come true. Real protection is not keeping your field compressed so you don't get hurt. Real protection is understanding the mechanics of your field well enough to maintain your coherence, regardless of what happens around you. Real protection is not needing the shift to look a certain way, arrive on a certain timeline, or be confirmed by external evidence before you'll believe it's real. Real protection is trusting your own broadcast and letting reality assemble around it without managing the assembly. That's a harder practice than the hedge. I won't pretend otherwise, but it's the only practice that actually works. So here is what I'm asking of you, not as a demand, but as an invitation. In the next 24 hours, choose your field over your fear. Not permanently, not forever, just for the next 24 hours. Every time you feel the pull toward recompression, toward the hedge, toward the familiar frequency of not quite, return to your heart center. Find the warmth, breathe into it, and let your field radiate at its natural frequency. Just for today, just for tonight, and tomorrow. Let the broadcast be full. Let the signal be clear. Let the quantum field receive an unambiguous transmission from you for once and see what assembles. Because what assembles in response to a full, clear, unhedged broadcast from a coherent field is not what assembles in response to a compressed, qualified, 1 foot back signal. It is categorically different. It is proportional to the full amplitude of your natural frequency, which is, I promise you, far larger than you have been allowing yourself to believe. You have been dimming yourself for so long that you've mistaken the dimmed version for your actual brightness. You've been broadcasting at a fraction of your natural amplitude for so long that you've started to think the fraction is the whole, but the whole is there. The full brightness is there. It has never gone anywhere. It has been underneath the compression this entire time, generating its natural frequency, waiting for the moment when you would stop covering it. That moment is now. This is what I want to say to the community that gathers around this channel. And I'm saying it specifically to you, the person who is in this moment, in this particular threshold state, in this specific quality of opening. What you are feeling right now is not just personal. It is not just about your individual life and your individual timeline. When a field shifts into coherence, it doesn't just affect the person whose field it is. It affects everyone in that field's electromagnetic range. And through the entanglement network, it affects people far beyond that range. Your shift tonight is not just yours. It is a contribution to the coherence of the collective field. The HeartMath Institute's Global Coherence Initiative has been studying the relationship between individual heart coherence and the global electromagnetic field, the field that encompasses the entire planet, the Schumann resonances, the geomagnetic field that surrounds and permeates all life on Earth. Their research suggests that when enough individuals shift into high heart coherence simultaneously, the effect on the global field is measurable, not theoretical. Measurable. Individual coherence contributes to collective coherence. Your field is not isolated. It is part of a planetary electromagnetic system. This means that when you choose your coherence tonight, you are not just changing your timeline. You are adding your signal to the collective broadcast of everyone who is in this same threshold state right now. Everyone who found this tonight. Everyone whose field has been decompressing and reorganizing and reaching for the frequency of the life that fits. And the combined coherence of that field is more powerful than any individual field alone. You are not doing this alone. You are doing it as part of a field, and the field is stronger for your presence in it. There is one more thing I want to give you before we close, and it's the most practical thing I can offer. It's a principle for the days ahead. A single organizing idea that you can return to whenever you feel uncertain, whenever the shift seems to be stalling, whenever the old frequency tries to reassert itself. The principle is this: your broadcast precedes you. Everywhere you go, before you arrive, your electromagnetic field is already there. Your heart field, which extends several feet beyond your body in every direction, reaches a room before you walk into it. It reaches a conversation before you begin it. It reaches a relationship before you deepen it. And the quantum field that it interacts with begins to organize around your signal before you consciously engage with it. This means that the most important thing you do in any situation is not what you say, or what you decide, or what action you take. The most important thing is the state of your field before you arrive, the broadcast you're carrying, the frequency you're radiating as you approach. A person who walks into a room broadcasting from a coherent, high-amplitude field that radiates warmth, clarity, and genuine presence changes the room before they say a word. The electromagnetic environment reorganizes around their signal. The probability distributions shift. The people in the room feel something without knowing why, and they respond to it. Opportunities open. Conversations deepen. Things happen. A person who walks into the same room, broadcasting from a compressed, incoherent field that radiates guardedness, smallness, or performed confidence, changes the room in a different way. The people feel something different, without knowing why, and they respond to that instead. Same room, same person, different broadcast, different reality. Your broadcast precedes you. So the practice for the days ahead is simple. Before you walk into anything, return to your heart center. Find the warmth. Breathe into it. Let it expand. Let it radiate. Let your field arrive before you do, carrying the frequency of your natural coherence, your natural amplitude, your natural brightness, not as a technique for getting what you want, as an act of honesty, as a commitment to broadcasting what you actually are, rather than what you've been conditioned to perform. Because what you actually are is extraordinary. Not in a vague, everyone is special way. In a specific, electromagnetic, measurable way. Your heart generates a field. That field carries your frequency. Your frequency, when uncompressed and fully expressed, is a unique signal in the quantum field that nothing else generates. Nobody has your exact broadcast. Nobody has your exact entanglement history. Nobody has your exact combination of coherence signatures, emotional frequencies, and quantum relationships. You are a singular electromagnetic event in the history of the universe. And you have been dimming that singularity to fit into spaces that were never built for your full brightness. Tonight, that ends. Not because you've decided to become someone different, because you've remembered who you already are, because you've felt your field decompressing and reorganizing and reaching for the frequency of the timeline that fits, because you've done the practices and felt the warmth and breathed into the threshold and let the held notes begin to release, because you've understood at the level of physics, not just feeling, what your field is doing and why it matters and what it's capable of. You didn't stumble onto this. Your field drew it. And your field drew it because it was ready. Because you were ready. Because somewhere underneath the compression and the conditioning and the 1,000 small moments of self-dimming, the part of you that knows what you are and what you're capable of sent a signal into the quantum field that said, tonight. Tonight is the night. Tonight, I'm ready to remember. And the quantum field, which always responds to coherent signals, assembled this moment around that broadcast. Now, I want to go somewhere with you that I haven't taken you yet tonight, because there's a layer of this that most transmissions stop short of, and I think you're ready for it. And I think it's the layer that will make everything we've covered tonight not just meaningful, but durable. Let's talk about what happens in your body, specifically in your nervous system, in the days and weeks after a genuine coherence shift. Because the shift in your electromagnetic field and the shift in your neurology are not two separate events. They are the same event described from two different angles. And understanding the neurological side of what's happening to you right now will give you tools that pure energy work alone cannot provide. Your nervous system has two primary modes. You've probably heard them called fight or flight, and rest and digest, which is the simplified version. The more precise description involves the autonomic nervous system's two branches: the sympathetic, which mobilizes your body for threat response, and the parasympathetic, which returns your body to a state of restoration, connection, and creative engagement. And within the parasympathetic branch, there is a further distinction that a researcher named Stephen Porges identified in his polyvagal theory between the dorsal vagal state, which is the shutdown, freeze, collapse response, and the ventral vagal state, which is the state of social engagement, safety, openness, and genuine connection. The ventral vagal state is not just a nervous system state. It is an electromagnetic state. When your nervous system is in ventral vagal activation, your heart rate variability, the measure that HeartMath uses to assess field coherence, enters its most organized, highest amplitude pattern. The waveform becomes smooth and rhythmic. The heart field expands. The broadcast becomes clear. In other words, the ventral vagal state is the neurological correlate of what we've been calling coherence. They are the same condition, one described in the language of neuroscience, one described in the language of electromagnetic field physics. And here is what that means for you tonight. The practices we've been doing, the breath work, the heart center attention, the deliberate expansion of warmth. These are not just energy practices. They are ventral vagal activation protocols. You have been through this entire transmission, moving your nervous system from a state of sympathetic or dorsal vagal activation into a state of ventral vagal coherence. The warmth you feel in your chest is not only your heart field expanding, it is your vagus nerve, the longest cranial nerve in your body, the nerve that connects your brain to your heart, your lungs, your gut, and your face, returning to a state of regulated, open, connected aliveness. This matters because it means the shift you're in is biological, not just energetic. It is happening in your tissues, in your nerve pathways, in the actual physical architecture of your body. And biological changes, once they take root, are harder to reverse than purely experiential ones. The vagus nerve, when it is in a state of high tone, which is the measure of how well it can regulate your nervous system, does something specific to your social and electromagnetic broadcast. It changes the quality of your voice. It changes the micro expressions on your face. It changes the way your eyes receive light and the way your ears process sound. A person in high vagal tone literally looks different to other nervous systems. They sound different. Their presence has a different quality. And other nervous systems, which are exquisitely sensitive to these signals, because we evolved to read each other's safety states, respond to that quality with openness rather than guardedness, with approach rather than withdrawal. This is the biology of what people experience as someone who lights up the room. It is not charisma in the performative sense. It is vagal tone. It is a nervous system broadcasting safety and aliveness, and other nervous systems recognizing that signal and responding to it with their own opening. You are building vagal tone right now. With every breath we've taken together, with every moment of attention you've brought to your heart center, with every compression you've allowed to release. You are not just shifting your energy field. You are physically rebuilding the biological infrastructure of your broadcast. And vagal tone, like electromagnetic coherence, compounds over time. Every time you return to your heart center, every time you choose the warmth over the compression, every time you let your field radiate rather than contracting it in self-protection, your vagal tone increases slightly, and slightly, repeated 1,000 times, becomes a completely different nervous system, a completely different broadcast, a completely different life. This is the long game, and it starts tonight. I want to tell you about one more person before we close. Her name was Iris, and her story is different from Mara's and Daniel's because her shift was not about a career or a creative project. It was about something quieter and I think more fundamental. It was about the relationship between her own field and the field of the physical spaces she inhabited. Iris had noticed, over many years, that she felt differently in different places, not just emotionally, physically. In some spaces, her chest opened and her breathing deepened, and she felt, as she described it, like herself. In other spaces, she contracted. Her breathing became shallow. Her thoughts became smaller. She felt, in those spaces, like a diminished version of the person she was when she was alone in her kitchen on a Sunday morning. For most of her life, she had attributed this to the people in those spaces. The energy of the crowd, the vibe of the room, the personalities present. But then she had an experience that changed her understanding entirely. She walked into an empty building, a building she had been in many times before with other people, and had always felt contracted in. And she felt the same contraction, even though there was nobody there. The building was empty. The compression was not coming from other people. It was coming from the space itself. What Iris had stumbled onto, without the vocabulary for it yet, is a real phenomenon. Physical spaces carry electromagnetic histories. The fields generated by the people who have inhabited a space over time leave measurable electromagnetic imprints. This is not mysticism. The Earth's geomagnetic field records the electromagnetic activity of every thunderstorm, every solar event, every major collective human experience. At a smaller scale, the electromagnetic environment of a physical space is shaped by the fields that have been generated within it. A space where people have spent years in states of stress, conflict, or compression carries a different electromagnetic signature than a space where people have spent years in states of creativity, connection, and coherence. And your field, which is sensitive to incoming electromagnetic signals, responds to those environmental signatures. In a space with a coherent electromagnetic history, your field tends to entrain upward. In a space with an incoherent electromagnetic history, your field experiences a pull toward compression. What Iris learned, and what I want you to take with you, is that you are not helpless in the face of an incoherent electromagnetic environment. Your field, when it is broadcasting at sufficient amplitude and coherence, does not just receive environmental signals. It transmits into the environment. It contributes to the electromagnetic signature of the space. A person broadcasting from a state of high coherence doesn't just resist the pull of an incoherent environment. They begin, over time, to change it, to add their signal to the space's electromagnetic history, to make the space gradually more coherent for everyone who enters it after them. Iris began doing something simple. Before she entered any space, particularly spaces where she had historically felt contracted, she took 30 seconds outside the door to return to her heart center, find the warmth, and let her field expand to its natural amplitude. She arrived broadcasting rather than receiving. And over weeks and months, she noticed something remarkable. The spaces themselves began to feel different. Not because the buildings changed, because her relationship to them changed, because her field, arriving first, arriving coherent, was no longer being overridden by the environmental signal. It was contributing to it. She was changing the rooms she walked into, not with words or actions, with her broadcast. Your broadcast precedes you into every space you enter. And the spaces you enter regularly, your home, your workplace, the relationships you inhabit daily, carry the electromagnetic history of your field's presence in them. When your field shifts into coherence, you don't just change your experience of those spaces. You change the spaces themselves. You add a new layer to their electromagnetic signature. You make them more coherent, more open, more resonant with the frequency of aliveness. This is not a small thing. This is how individual coherence propagates into the world. Not through grand gestures or public declarations, through the quiet, continuous, daily broadcast of a field that has stopped dimming itself. Through the electromagnetic imprint you leave in every room you enter, every conversation you participate in, every relationship you inhabit. You are always broadcasting. The question has never been whether. The question has always been what. And tonight, you are choosing what. Now, I want to say something about the specific quality of the days immediately ahead, because there is a window that opens after a coherence shift that is unlike any other period in the cycle of change. And I want you to know it's coming so you can meet it consciously rather than miss it. In the 3 to 7 days after a genuine field reorganization, the quantum field's response to your new broadcast begins to arrive. Not in its fullness, that takes longer, but in its first signals. The first evidence that the entanglement network has received your new frequency and is beginning to respond. These first signals are often small, easy to dismiss. A message from someone you hadn't thought about in months. An idea that arrives fully formed in the shower. A conversation that takes an unexpected turn toward something that matters. A door that was stuck beginning to move. None of these things, taken individually, look like evidence of a timeline shift. They look like ordinary life, and that is exactly why most people miss them. The person who doesn't understand the mechanics dismisses these signals as coincidence. They don't connect them to the coherence shift that preceded them. They don't recognize them as the first responses of an entanglement network to a new broadcast. And because they don't recognize them, they don't engage with them. They let the signals pass without response, and signals that are not engaged with fade. The entanglement network, like any communication system, requires reciprocal response to sustain the connection. But the person who understands the mechanics, the person who has the map, recognizes these small signals for what they are. The first arrivals, the advance party of the new timeline, and they engage with them. They respond to the message. They follow the idea. They lean into the unexpected conversation. They put their hand on the door that's beginning to move. And that engagement sends a signal back through the entanglement network. Yes, I'm here. I received you. Keep coming. And the network responds to that reciprocal signal with more. The signals grow. The arrivals become more frequent. The evidence accumulates. The new timeline, which was a probability distribution a week ago, begins to feel like a reality, because it is becoming one, because your field is continuously broadcasting. The network is continuously responding, and you are continuously engaging with the responses. the feedback loop of coherence is running. And it is running in the direction of the life that fits. This is the window I want you to watch for in the days ahead. The small signals, the unexpected arrivals, the slight movements in doors you thought were stuck. Don't dismiss them. Don't wait for the dramatic confirmation. The dramatic confirmation comes after the small signals have been engaged with, not before. The quantum field speaks in whispers before it speaks in declarations. And the whispers are the most important part. Your life is about to change. Not because I'm telling you it will, because your field is already changing it, because the shift is already in motion, because the timeline that matches your natural frequency is not somewhere ahead of you in the future. It is right here, right now, in superposition with the present you're standing in, waiting for your broadcast to cross the threshold that collapses it into your reality. And you are crossing that threshold right now, in this breath, in this warmth in your chest that's been there this whole time, waiting for you to notice it and call it by its real name. Your field is active. Your broadcast is clear. Your signal is crossing the 0-point field in every direction at every moment. And the quantum field is already assembling the response. You entered a new timeline tonight, not because of where you clicked, because of what you broadcast, because of who you are underneath everything you've been taught to dim. Welcome to your own light. It was always on. You just needed to see it. If this transmission found you at the right moment, consider returning to it in the stillness of early morning, or in the quiet just before sleep, when your field is most receptive and the coherence lands deepest. And if someone in your life is dimming when they shouldn't be, share this with them. When you activate another person's awareness of their own field, both auras strengthen through resonance, and the collective luminosity grows. That ripple matters more than you know. Now go radiate, not because you should, because that's what you are. And the world, your world, the reality that assembles around your specific, singular, extraordinary electromagnetic signature has been waiting for you to know that. It's time.